Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today I'm going to talk about self-esteem. And I'm going to pull most of these explanations from a very great book by Nathaniel Branden called the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, which I'd highly recommend for anyone who's really working on this journey of dealing with their deep insecurities. I'm also going to share more on how low self-esteem makes you susceptible to unhealthy relationships, or how low self-esteem makes you attract narcissists in your life. So stay tuned and you will enjoy this. The best definition of self-esteem is the sense of viewing oneself as someone who can cope with basic challenges of life and is worthy of happiness. Self-esteem allows us to not just feel better, but to live better. So there are two components of self-esteem. The first one is self-respect or worthiness. This is like the sense of being worthy of happiness and joy and being able to assert your thoughts, needs, and wants. It's just this deep conviction in your own value. Then the second component is self-efficacy or competence. This is the confidence you have in your ability to learn, think, choose, and decide, or to be able to trust and rely on yourself in the face of life's challenges. It's more of trusting in your own efforts. So, with self-efficacy, it demonstrates that you have a sense of control over your life, in contrast of being just a victim of circumstances. While with self-respect, it demonstrates that you are worthy of love and respect when you are coexisting with other individuals. And when you have high self-esteem, you feel that you deserve a happy life, while when you have low self-esteem, you feel that you don't deserve a happy life and you are even wrong as a person. On the other hand, an average kind of self-esteem will waver between feeling right as a person and feeling wrong as a person, and they will display inconsistent behaviors which reinforces the uncertainty of what they are feeling or how they view themselves at the core of their being. So average is just being there and just being confused and being uncertain. So not high, not low. And the thing is, your level of self-esteem is not fixed. It can grow and it can also deteriorate. And our level of self-esteem creates implicit expectations of what's appropriate for us and what's possible for us in our lives. And the thing is, those expectations tend to create actions and behaviors that turn them to realities. And those realities actually tend to reinforce those original beliefs. So in short, low self-esteem breeds low self-esteem, and high self-esteem breeds high self-esteem. And a high self-esteem means that we are more open, honest, and we believe our thoughts have value, while low self-esteem is more evasive, dishonest, and defensive because of fear and certainty of our own thoughts and value. So, what's the price of low self-esteem, or how does low self-esteem make you susceptible to toxic partners or to unhealthy relationships? So, let's explore it this way. First, we have to know that all human relationships, or in all human relationships, we tend to feel comfortable or at home with people whose self-esteem is similar to our own. Low self-esteem unconsciously seeks a low self-esteem individual, which makes someone feel like they've even met their soulmate in quotes or twin flame. And one thing to note here, a narcissist doesn't actually have a high self-esteem. They just project a false self of high self-esteem to cover up their deep insecurity. So they're just struggling like everyone else, but they now project an outward self which looks like a very confident, boastful, and strong individual. So when you think poorly of yourself, you'll tend to attract someone who thinks poorly of themselves on an inner level, not on the upper level. And when you feel undeserving of love, your behaviors and actions will work in alignment with those deeply held beliefs of feeling undeserving of love. So when you are empty on the inside, you'll be trapped with this feeling of deficiency, and you'll even see other people as means to meet your unfulfilled needs. So you'll be looking for people who will not poke holes in your persona, or who will validate you And that's what manipulative people provide you with in the idealization phase of that relationship. They will they will validate you, accept you the way you are, because because of your low self-esteem. You don't want someone to poke holes in your identity or in your current persona. You will also be fully swayed by those empty words of affection or love bombing, because it is a source of approval which you lack deep inside within you. And you will also focus so much on those empty promises about the future faking, and you will even wait for them because you just feel that you cannot do them on your own. Because of your low self-esteem, you are lacking self-reliance. You don't believe in your ability to get those things for yourselves. So you depend on someone else to get them for you, and you just wait because you're just really sure that you cannot do them for yourself. So you may want to escape from facing your low self-esteem by looking for acceptance, validation, and to be taken care of by another person, because you just feel so powerless on your own. Another thing is your foundation of deep insecurity will unconsciously lead you to picking someone who will abandon you, because you just feel that that's how your life is supposed to be. You just carry these subconscious beliefs of like, I don't deserve any love. It's more of being in a toxic relationship is more of just like a self-fulfilling prophecy of how you view yourself on the inside. Just someone who's unlovable and undeserving of life. And when you deeply know that you are doomed, you will behave or act in a way that brings that belief of being doomed to reality, or that brings that identity of deep insecurity to reality. And when you find yourself in a healthy relationship, you will still find a way to self-sabotage because of your you want constant reassurance, retroactive jealousy, or you are just too possessive and controlling. If someone loves you and treats you so well, it will simply mean that they are not good for you, because deep inside, you just know you are unworthy of that kind of love. That kind of love where someone is treating you so well. That's not your thing. No. The kind of love that works for you is the one where you are rejected, because the one where you are rejected is the one which reinforces those deeply held beliefs of low self-esteem deep within you. In fact, like according to Branden, the tragedy of most of us is we want to be right. Even when we have the opportunity to be happy, we want to be right. And right here means we want to live in alignment with those deeply held beliefs. So we will tend to sabotage happiness in our quest of being right, like enforcing what we deeply hold as true. So when you have low self-esteem, you'll be susceptible to toxic relationship, and you'll even sabotage any healthy relationships, because deep inside you are so insecure and you feel so unworthy of love. So you'll just live your life just trying to uphold what you deeply believe about yourself, because beliefs drive actions and behaviors. Another role low self-esteem plays is it will also keep you stuck in a toxic relationship longer. The fact of the matter is, when you are in a toxic relationship, your self-esteem is eroded because you disown your feelings, you struggle to preserve a relationship that's not working, you reject the reality, you avoid conflict, and you hope for a miracle to deliver you from this situation, like hoping your partner will change. And when we avoid acting or deciding when it's really necessary, it ruins our sense of self. It ruins our ability to stand up and safeguard our well-being. And a healthy self-esteem is living a life which is in alignment with your own well-being. So, if we feel that the reality of the situation, like admitting the relationship is toxic, makes us look helpless and exposes our low self-esteem, we feel that that reality is our enemy, and we tend to find ways to sabotage it. So you might have read an article, or you might have heard someone talking about toxic relationships, and you just know that your relationship is not toxic. But because you know that the moment you know it's toxic, it will expose your deep insecurities, you will want to really, you will have a grudge on that person or even that book talking about that relationship. We will tend to react defensively and even turn a blind eye on the reality of the situation as an escape from the painful emotions of that reality. Like we just choose to ignore that the relationship is not toxic. Because the moment we know it's toxic, we have to leave and stand up for ourselves. And because of our low self-esteem, we cannot stand up for ourselves. So we just choose to cling to that relationship. So you will even be stuck in that relationship longer because you can't decide on your own, as you don't trust your own ability to stand up for yourself and come up with decisions that are in alignment with your well-being. You will also be fearful and doubtful of your own sense of self when they falsely accuse you or peddle lies about you. In fact, you'll find yourself being so defensive because of your general sense of deep unworthiness and guilt around those false accusations. Like when they accuse you, they trigger the deep insecurity you feel deep inside. With low self-esteem, you will not be looking forward to facing life challenges, but you will be seeking to avoid them. Because self-esteem is about facing life challenges. But now with low self-esteem, you will not be looking forward to face those challenges. So you just be looking for a way to avoid them, even if it means sticking to that unhealthy relationship. So when you have low self-esteem, you'll be motivated by fear of the unknown instead of being motivated by looking at life's challenges as an adventure for you to explore. When you work on your self-esteem, you'll be approaching relationships as a place where you want to share something you have deep within you, and not as a place where it can satisfy your unfulfilled deep needs. As I said, most concepts of these, if you want to really go deeper into this concept of self-esteem, read that book, the 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem. It will really be helpful. And here's the thing. As I said before, instead of just focusing on reading about books on narcissism and all those relationships, just read 2 or 3 books about them and then just leave it. Because actually, once you read 2 to 3 books on narcissism, the others you'll be reading will just be maybe new terminologies about narcissism, but which doesn't really add up to you getting to the place you want to be. And instead, you can focus on the books that really poke holes on how you view your current reality. It's quite counterintuitive actually. For you to grow, don't focus on books that validate your current reality. Because as it is now, because of trauma and what you've been through in the past, it's just distorted. Of course, it's okay to be validated in some sense early on, but don't stay there. You can look for content or books that really challenge your current worldview, as that's what growth is. Growth is not a validation of your current worldview. It's challenging your current worldview so that you can emerge out of it. If you just focus on books about narcissism and just things which validate your worldview, you'll be stuck with your current worldview. But tearing it down and just dropping what you currently know and just looking at books which can really help you build a deep, secure sense of self will really help you. Hope you found these informative, guys. And if you've been reading a lot of books and watching a lot of videos on toxic relationships, you can stop now. It's okay. You've been validated, and the more you do it, the more you keep stuck. You learn nothing new if you just focus on toxic relationship for the next 1 year. But if you just focus on content which really challenge you, even if it's making you feel triggered, it's okay. That's the whole point. The fact that you are triggered means that there's something in there. You would not be triggered if there was nothing in there. Hope you found this provoking, challenging, and exciting, and I'd really recommend you to get that book. Until next time, guys, see ya.